Okay, welcome on board once again. So now the next thing we're going to be building now is the mobile menu. Okay, so that when we are on mobile view, we want to have that nice hamburger menu here. Okay, so now as you can see in the original project that we're given, you can see it here. Okay, this is the mobile view, this is the desktop view. Okay, so this is the one we're building. Okay, now so what we're going to do right here in the page.js or page.js, depending on what you're using now. So here we have this nav bar. So down at the nav bar before this closing div here, so we're going to have our hamburger icon there. Okay, so now we'll be having button, and then this button now we're just going to give it an ID, because we can have several buttons on the page now. So we're going to use an ID of let's just call it menu btn. Okay, so now we can have class as well, so we'll just give it a class name. It's going to be blocked by default, that is display block. And now we'll have this hamburger class now, which we're going to define in our global.css. It's going to be a custom style. Okay, so when using Tailwind CSS, you can actually create your own custom style, just like when using Bootstrap, you can create your own custom styles in your CSS file. So same way in Tailwind CSS, you can have some custom styles to do some more customization. Okay, so our medium screen now is going to be hidden. Okay, so but it's going to be display block by default. Okay, so set our focus to be outline, outline none. Okay, all right, so now inside this button now, of course, now if you jump over here now, okay, we're not having but anything we type, let's just say button text. Excuse me, you should see it being displayed there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is that we really don't want just that button text now, so we're going to be having that we just create some kind of a span tag that we're going to style in our global.css so as to get those lines. Okay, it's just going to be a tiny height and then the actual width we want, and then give it a black color. So that's just all we're going to be doing. So we'll just give it a class name excuse me, of hamburger. We'll just create 3 lines. So one's going to be hamburger top, hamburger middle, and hamburger bottom. So I will duplicate it out now. So this is going to be middle and this is going to be bottom. Okay, so now I'll save it now. Now if you go over here, you're not going to see just anything now until we go ahead and then style this hamburger, which holds this hamburger top, hamburger middle, and this now. So we're going to style this line in our global.css now. So right here now you could see this is our global.css. Now you could just put in any custom style that you want. Okay, you can add some more styles to the body and create some media query if you want to, and all of those stuffs like that. Now okay, so now let's just go ahead and then add our custom style there. So we just call dot hamburger here. Okay, and then they will set the cursor to be pointer, and then the width, entire width of the hamburger is going to be 24 pixels. Then the height also be 24 pixels height. So because we're going to be adding some little cool animation, we're going to use transition all 0.25 seconds. Okay, and then position for it now, position is going to be relative. All right, so that's just all that we're gonna do for this forms the entire structure of the hamburger, but the things that are going to be the actual line, because if you go here now, you're not going to see anything now. So these actual things now, the hamburger top, middle, and bottom, now we are going to style them also. So come here, dot hamburger top, we're going to style them together, hamburger middle, and then hamburger bottom. So 3 of them, I'm gonna give them the same styles now. This is dots. So the first thing that I want to set is their position, absolute positioning, and then from top is going to be 0, and then left 0 as well. So set the width and height. Let's use the same 25 and 24 pixels. But the height for each of them, no, this is for the entire hamburger itself now. But for each of them now, the height is just going to be 2 pixel height. So it's going to be 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 2 pixel. So that's how it's going to be. Now the color of each of them now. So we're going to set a background for it now. So the background or background color, whichever one now, is going to be black. So that's the color we want to use now. That's black. Okay, so that forms the color for us now. Okay. So if you go over here now, you see the hamburger menu, but excuse me, but 3 of them are in the same place. So we kind of going, we'll need to shift each of them. We're gonna use CSS translate, okay, to kind of move bottom. Okay, so but because 3 of them are just in the same position there, so they are kind of overwriting each other. So for this hamburger middle excuse me, hamburger middle, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use transform. So we want to translate, what I want to translate is, we'll say translate y, that is vertical movements by 7 pixels. So if we see here now, it should move hamburger middle 7 pixels. Let's reload this. Sometimes it do misbehave until you kind of refresh, or so. Maybe I'll need to run my dev server again, but I'll just go ahead and then do what I'm doing. Okay, since I already know what the outcome will be, so I'll do that of the bottom also translate y. So 7, so another 7 is going to be 14. Okay, so that's 3 of them are not going to stand in this. Okay, you see it's out now. Okay, so that's how it is now. So we'll move the middle by 7 pixels, and then we'll move this one by 14 pixels, so that we can have this structure like this now. So that's just what we have now. So now we have our hamburger sitting up here, and if on desktop view, we won't see it now. If we're mobile view, you see it up now. And again, you can use font awesome, but we don't want to. We just want 3 icons that are separate now, so that we can animate 3 of them separately. Okay, all right, so that's just what we want to do. And then the next thing we're going to do is now the next thing we want to do, when we click this now, we want it to change the look now, should show something like ox. Okay, so to show ox now, we have to translate this up one, maybe move this down one will move or let's say this one will move 45 degree, while this one going to move minus 45 degree, then the middle one is going to disappear. So that's just it. So to do that now, we just have we'll just systematically add and remove a class called open. So once this class open is added, then once it's open, then it should show the X, means that it's open now. You will want to click on the X to close it now. So once it's closed now, this one should no longer be there again, and then it should return back to normal. So now let's assume that it's open is added now, the open class is added now. So we're going to style it now. So right here in our style now, what we're going to do is to say open, okay, dot first, because that's a class, dot open. Okay, so here we're going to add the transform rotate by 90 degree. Okay, you can study more about CSS transform. Okay, so transform, then translates, you can translate by 0 pixels, and then style dot open dot hamburger top. So we're going to transform. Then what we want to, oh, excuse me, all of this, it's going to bring an error. I have to terminate with semicolon. All right, so I'm going to transform, rotate 45 degree. So I'm going to transform or translate. Six pixels, and then so doing that now, once the other class open is here, you see this one being what's moved like this now. But the moment we remove this, let's get this. The moment we remove this now, it should return back now. So once we put it again now, it should be translated like this now. It's going to be moved like this. Right, so now we're going to do the same thing for the down one as well, for the bottom now. For this bottom, but this one is going to be minus. And this is going to be minus 6 pixels. Alright, so now we have those two now, and then the middle one, middle, I think we'll just go ahead and then remove it now. So we'll just set the display to be none. I'm sure you did CSS, so this should not be strange to you. So display is going to be none. Okay, so now that makes all the difference. So once we remove this now, we're going to see the default style, and once we have it now, everything is going to be transformed. Okay, like this now. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is the actual menu. Okay, so just go over here. So let's just remove this open that we added here. It's just for testing, because it's JavaScript we're going to use to inject it into it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'll just remove it first for the now. Now for the actual menu, what we're gonna do, we're gonna still put it inside the nav, but it's gonna come after this div here, that before the closing of this nav here. So we'll come here now, and then we'll put a comment here, mobile menu. Okay, so we'll have a div first of all, and that div now we're gonna have a class name of that will make it hidden by the on medium screen. So it's gonna be hidden, so that means it's gonna be displayed by default. Now in here now we're gonna have a flex box now, so just call the div here, and what this div is really going to hold, I think we already have some list of stuff here before. So pricing, products, I think these are the menus we want now. So we'll just go ahead and then copy all of this now. Just copy them. Where is okay, so just go ahead and then paste them here. And do we really need all of this over? And okay, let's just leave that now. But this one now, inside of this div, now we can give it an ID of menu. Okay, and then we'll give it some class now, class name. Let's make it absolute positioning, and then the display is going to be flex, and then it's going to be flex colon by default. Okay, so that it can appear in column form like that now. And medium, okay, let's let's remove this one first. Okay. Okay, so we have this menu. We're gonna add some styling now. We're going to add some vertical spacing, p by 8, and then we'll have some margin of like 10. So the individual items are going to have their own space also. So I'm going to use space y. Let's use like 6 for the individual space. Okay. And we're going to bold the fonts. So I'm going to say font bold. And then we'll give it a background BG of white. And we'll add some little drop shadow there. Let's say drop shadow. Shadow D. Okay, and so we're gonna have left 6 and right 6 to create that block for us. Okay, I think we need to centralize these things at the middle, so we're gonna do self center. It's really self. Okay, let's excuse me. Let's try items. Okay, so item center. Okay, now we have it where we want now. Okay, so if you want to, you can go on and on formatting it the way you want it now. PY6. Okay. Now on mobile view, we really do not want it. Let's even remove this guy. We don't really want this. On mobile view, we can just target this menu, and then here now we just add hidden, so that on mobile view is going to be hidden. It's not going to come out. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So once we click here, it's going to translate this and then change the class to be hidden, and then we'll click it again. It's going to translate it again and then change, bring this one out. So that's just the logic that we're going to do. I'm going to achieve that using JavaScript. Now, in order to write some JavaScript code, first of all, we'll need to use you can write your classes here, your JavaScript commands here and everything. But what we want to do, we will need to use effect, and for us to use effects. Sorry if you've not. I'm sure you've done in React now before you're taking this course now, so you already know what use effect is now. But when using Next.js here now, for you to use effect here, you need to do what's called use clients now before you can use any of the, whether use state or use effect. Now you must do this as use client now, because by default now every of a Next.js component, they are seen as server component by default now. So you need to turn it to a client component now, because use effect, use state, and all of those things only work from the client component now. So you need to make this a client component by applying use client here. So with this now, we can now import use effects hook from React like this now, and then so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna call the use effect hook here like this. Okay, and then so right here now we're going to declare some constants now. Const btn is going to be documents dot get element by id, and then we're going to look for that menu button. Okay, and then we're going to work with that one, and we're going to work with the nav as well. So menu. Okay, now we're gonna put some if command here. So if there's no btn or there's no nav, just go ahead and then return. Okay, but if we have, then proceed to the next line of action. So we're gonna call the btn dot add event listener. So we're gonna add a click event listener. So call click here. So you're gonna listen for a click, and then this is going to be executed once we have that. Now once it's been clicked, once this button is being clicked, this function is going to be triggered. And what do we want to do in that function? We're going to call first of all btn dot class list. We're going to call the class list dot toggle. So we want to toggle open there. So it's going to add it. Okay, so we're going to both add and remove this open class list from this btn. Okay, a menu button. Where is it? Menu button. So it's going to add and remove open here once it's been clicked. So that's just the simple logic that we have there. And what do we want to do? Okay, let's go ahead, click here. You see, it's going to add and remove it. Okay, what issue is this? Oh, ignore that for now. Then the next thing we're going to do now is to also work on this nav here as well. Once it's the same button click is going to work on the nav now. So we're going to call the class list as well, and then we're going to toggle as in add or remove something. We're going to add or remove hidden. So that is why we're going to remove the default hidden that we put there. This is the menu. So yes, it can be hidden by default now. So when we click it now, it's going to remove it so that it can be displayed. So I think that is going to be all for us now. Okay, so that's just all. Let's see what's happening there. Excuse me. Where's our console? I'm getting an error here. Let's see. So hidden applies the same CSS property as flex. Okay, both hidden and flex use the display property. So on line 68, let's see. Okay, by default, what we're gonna do now? Let's remove flex. Okay, so by default, it's going to be hidden. Okay, so until we click on it. Okay, so what other problem do we have? It should be working by now. CSS on that is not an issue. I think one thing we can do this one here, need to change it to flex. Okay, we need to remove hidden and put flex, and when hidden is there, flex should be out. Okay, I think we're going to toggle between these two. So this is going to menu btn. Okay, let's leave this as flex. Let's remove the hidden, so that let's come here now. So menu btn, let's make this hidden here. Okay, this one is for this block, sorry. Let's stop the dev server and run it again. Excuse me, sometimes excuse me, some misbehavior do come from there. Okay, so let's reload the page again, and then okay, the page is reloaded now, so let's try it again. So you see, I told you some misbehavior do come from there, so I just needed to reload my dev server. Okay, but then it shouldn't be open by default. Shouldn't be open by default. So let's go check why it's open by default. This one, that should be the menu. So the ID menu, by default it should be hidden. Okay, so when I click here, oh, okay, I see another problem. Can we put flex here? What's going to happen? It's going to conflict with this one. It's not a good practice, though it worked. But what could have been the best solution? I think once we remove this one, let's see, we'll now toggle flex there. So that way it's a button click that's going to handle both of them. It's not allowing. Okay, so just go ahead and then put it right there. Okay, so I think that solves the problem. Okay, so now everything is complete now. So the only thing I'm going to do next now is there's a little background that's supposed to be here. What we're going to do that from our global CSS. So the background image is already there in the images folder, public now, img. You see this bg tablet pattern sgv as blah blah blah. Okay, so that's what from the original document, you see it here now. Okay, so that's just what we're gonna put there. And okay, so go back here again. So we're gonna close this guy now. So now in the global CSS now, there is the body tag, the body rule there. Okay, so just put it right here inside the body. So just go to background here. So URL is going to be /img. So bg tablets pattern.svg. Then I'm going to set it to be no repeats. Background repeats is going to be no repeats, and then you see it's already showing up there. So we're going to set the background size to be 800 pixels. And maybe background positioning, background position So 90, 25%. Excuse me. So we have it there. Now, even the CTA also have something like that as well. The CTA have so come out from this body block now, and then that is the call to action, find CTA. So this CTA block now have a little bit of background right there. Here, just something faded inside. It's an image there. So in our global.css now have the CTA, and then we'll have the background image also, and just duplicate this one. Don't need to type everything again, and then we'll just change the image now to the BG simplify section desktop.svg. So it's right there. Okay, now so you see it now, and then on the desktop you see this one now. Okay, so it's pretty cool. But on mobile, let's see, we can do some art media. Let's use max width S76 or any value that you want to use for it there. So then we're going to rewrite our body rule again and our CTA. So let's just copy this one, then we'll just edit a few things inside. Just edit a few things now. Of course, we don't want to do everything, only the background that we want to work on. Okay, so okay, we are not changing the background and we are not changing this, so we just remove every other thing. So we only change the background position to be 50 pixels, and the size, the background size is going to be 500 instead of 800, so it will be smaller for mobile. And then this one is going to be 50 for mobile. Sorry, pixels, not percents. Did I put percents here? Okay, I think the desktop, but for mobile, this one now we're going to change the this one now to be simplify section mobile. We have that image there. This one mobile, this one desktop. Okay, so save it now. The same no repeats. So if we go over down here, you see it's okay. So that's just a little bit of tweak that we just added. Okay. Alright, so with this now we've been able to build this guy, and then just ensure you are able to, yours is working the same way, and then get ready for the next class, building an admin dashboard from scratch. Right, thank you very much, and see you in the next class. Bye.